Hello, my name is Chang. I'm VP of Technology with JACS. So today we're going to be talking about the connectivity for remote applications using CBRS technology. You might wonder by reading this title and what is the CBRS and how it is related to the IoT. CBRS actually is a spectrum at the 3.5 gigahertz band, and the spectrum was auctioned by FCC back in 2020. It's just about 3 years, and it is very innovative way to make this spectrum available for the private network. And the key thing is it is a shared spectrum. And just like, everyone is using for the Wi-Fi, it is shared spectrum, but this one is a shared spectrum with 150 megahertz bandwidth. And but it is regulated in somehow so that make it more efficient. Not like just like Wi-Fi shared spectrum, everyone is trying to jump in, and there's an algorithm. You jump in, you get a collision, everyone is back off and randomly, in random fashion. But this CBRS spectrum is regulated, and you listen before you transmit. That makes the shared network works a lot better. And with that regulated scheme, so there's a priority of access for the spectrum. That's how the FCC generated auctions. That's only applicable to the prioritized access. Okay, but everyone else still can be access the spectrum with a general access. So it is just a matter of share with a different priority. And how that mechanics work, actually, you can see it is because of the introducing of SAS, and with a sensor network monitor the transmission within the spectrum. So then every access is regulated. So that makes spectrum works more efficiently and fairly. Now you see, okay, how the spectrum is work. It is just a spectrum allocated for private network usage, and it is shared, and it is working very well, and it is used by an enterprise to manage their communication with innovative way, and also it promote and speedize the IoT application and the innovation in the industry. With that being said, so that's why technology can be applied by enterprise to many different verticals if you need better connectivity and better applications for the industry. As you can see, and there's many industrial verticals actually taking advantage of private network, build their service and applications. And in the oil and gas industry, and the port, and the sports stadium, venues, airport, retail, hospital, and many verticals, school, campus, smart city, a lot of those verticals, and is taking advantage of private networks and build up the service. And since it is standardized technology, that's why you can take full advantage of ecosystem, and also like features like capacity, performance, quality of services, security, and the coverage. All those features and offered by a standard actually can be applied to the different verticals by enterprise. Okay, now we see how it works, and it's huge benefit there. So then you might ask how to deploy the CBRS technology. Okay. And for the enterprise, if you deploy private networks, so you can take advantage of shared spectrum and also standardized technology. But many enterprises may be facing the question or the issues. You think like standard technology, every global carriers is using, it might require complicated engineering and network management. Actually, it is not. And the CBRS technology, even using standard technology, but it is actually, the whole system is designed for the enterprise-friendly deployment and usage. So it is not carrier grade. So that makes it a lot easier for the enterprise to deploy and use. Typically, there are three models for the network deployment. For the enterprise, you can do deploy and maintain its network design. You can have a device procurement, everything. You can do it in-house by yourself. So that's model number one. Basically, the enterprise, you build a network, you own the networks, and you operate networks. I don't think this thing is so complicated as a carrier grade network. But the enterprise, your IT team, with some sort of training, you can manage this. And the second model is for the enterprise, you can outsourcing your infrastructure of private network, but you still manage the device procurement, and you can outsourcing your network build up and network operation services. Okay, and the last model is like the enterprise. If you don't want to carry this burden, actually you can completely outsourcing your private network to a third party. And for the private network, since it is not carrier grade network, and it offers many good features, and which is user friendly for the enterprise, and also from industry you can see the actually cost curve, all the cost of ownership within a few years. There are a lot of industry study, and the private network actually is very cost effective. You don't need big OPEX and CAPEX to build up your network. Actually, the cost gap between the private networks versus Wi-Fi is already very gap is already very small. And give you an example. So here is like typically for the enterprise, if you want to considering or deploy, evaluate the private network, and you use the CBRS start kit, so which contains the suite with the core network and access network like Node B indoor and outdoor, and also device, CPE router, and handheld device. This becomes the start kit, and you can use this start kit, and many also company, including JACS, they offer in this starting kit, and you can do a trial. You can do your own trial and a pilot run, and go through the proof of concept and how to take advantage of network to support your applications. And once you passing run the trial successfully, then you can go to large-scale deployment to cover all your desired area for your enterprise. So now I'm going to be giving you, sharing a few examples. And this is just a few examples, see how CBRS private network actually is supporting different verticals and different enterprises. And the very first one I'd like to share with you is for this education vertical examples. Here you can see this is the example of campus. So with the connected campus, basically this make your campus into a smart campus. And once you deploy the private network, and you can have an integrated indoor and outdoor coverage with the CBRS network. And you probably everyone knows, school, within the school building, you have a Wi-Fi. But once you go to outdoor building and you go to your campus, and there's no Wi-Fi outdoor coverage. But with CBRS, you can have an integrated indoor and outdoor coverage. You can support your schools and campus asset tracking by using CBRS tracker and also CBRS dongles to provide the connectivity there. And also you can use CBRS enabled kiosk for the student check-in, check-out. Also, you can deploy CBRS enabled smart display to support application like digital signage. And for the school bus going through the school, and also your school bus, many vehicles can be equipped with CBRS enabled tablet, and the student can check in and check out of school bus and monitor the school bus traffic and the passenger load. And another application is you can deploy CBRS enabled cameras for surveillance, monitoring, and management. So this is just a few examples how you can leverage your private network with different devices and supporting your desired applications. And so this is the example for the education vertical. I also like to share with you another example. This is for the correction facilities example by deploying private networks, as you can see here. And for the correction facilities, you need to have video surveillance, and which can take advantage of CBRS enabled cameras to do indoor and outdoor surveillance. And also you can deploy CBRS enabled tablet for the inmate, so they can use a tablet to do the education, to do entertainment, and to send messages. And another one is also you can deploy CBRS enabled tablet for the telemedicine, telehealth application. In the correction facilities, and this is one of the very high cost activities. If some inmate gets sick, and you have to escort them to the hospital and back and forth to for the on-site visit, and because of special arrangement, escort of the guard, which make that activity very high cost. And so by deploying CBRS enabled tablet, actually you can run the remote telemedicine telehealth session within the facilities, and it saves that trip cost. And also it can support video visitation for the inmate. And all those just a few examples of the applications which actually you can use the CBRS private networks. And another example case is for the utility industry. And actually you can see typically many utility actually in the facilities in the remote site, and so it's very hard to use public network to provide sufficient coverage. So you can deploy private networks and which can support CBRS enabled surveillance for your site security. And in many cases, and those utilities have some kind of satellite site in the nearby areas. You can use CBRS enabled outdoor CPE to provide coverage for those satellite locations. And you can also deploy ruggedized tablet for the workflow management and other applications. And also deploy CBRS enabled dongles for those pumps, meters, and get them connected so your site becomes a smart site. So those are just the examples, and I would like to share with you for how the private CBRS network actually is deployed and working. And actually, if you pay attention for the industry development, there are tons of other deployment use cases for the smart manufacturing and the smart logistics, and also smart warehouse management, and some sports venues, airports. They all deploy the private networks, and they have very successful use cases already there. So it's becomes very, very more and more popular technology being used by enterprise. So most important thing is like enterprise using private networks actually offers them a lot of advantages and benefits, so they can really take advantage to have their operation becomes smart. So with those examples shared, so I also, at the last, not the least, I'd like to also just to share with you is like JACS, as one of the industrial leaders. We actually played very active roles in the CBRS industry. We offer CBRS devices like CPEs, industrial dongles, and industrial routers. We also have a 10-inch and 8-inch ruggedized CBRS tablets, and we have also CBRS dongles and indoor and outdoor CPEs, all those devices, and also plus we have end-to-end solutions. So we can really help enterprise to build and operate their private networks. But we are very flexible as well. If you, depending on your deployment model, if you want an end-to-end system, we can help. And if you want to just a CBRS device, you already deployed the CBRS networks and infrastructures, and we can also be partners to supply you CBRS devices, and which most importantly, we can help you to do customized devices to really meet your special requirement and applications. That's the end of my my session. So, and the key message I want to share with you, just to emphasize, is CBRS is a spectrum and authorized for the private network usage, and it is a shared spectrum, and its cost is very low, and it is using standardized technology to leverage the ecosystem, and it offers advantages and many features offered by standard technology. And also JACS is an important partner, and we are the important player in this industry, and we will help you to take advantage of private network to support your IoT applications. Thank you.